AR15.com has gone woke. And what do I mean by that? I made a video about it yesterday. They suspended my account, and I found out today when I got an email why they suspended my account or blocked it or whatever they call it. It was because I insinuated that the death of a police officer made me happy. If you guys want to see the email, I got it. I can make a video about it. I might just do that anyway. So I sent an email back to, they said I had to work it out with the person that suspended my account at AR15.com. And I asked them, if I said that the death of a police officer made me sad, would my account have been suspended? Nope, probably wouldn't have been. So what does that mean? It means that AR15.com is exactly what they claim to be against. Because AR15.com has come out about certain things in the past, distant past, about wokeness. And here they are being woke again. I mean, it's not only YouTube that is restricting what we can say or think. It's not only Facebook. Pretty soon it's going to be AT&T and Spectrum and Cincinnati Bell and whoever else. I think it's a joke. And here's exactly what I said when what they're referring to in the thread. It was a video about a cop, and it's a cop talking to other cops in this video, and he's saying, you guys are going to have some reprehensible orders, morally reprehensible orders given to you, and you shall not follow them. I said, you dudes been doing this shit since your inception in the late 1830s. What are you going to stop for now? You're not. Because you are badged thugs. That's all you are. And every time that one of you bastards die, I can't help but to grin a little bit more. My grin gets a little bigger. Something like to that effect is what I said. I didn't promote violence, didn't suggest violence, didn't say that I want anybody to act out in violence. Matter of fact, I'm against violence. But if you fall over out there and you got a badge on, chances are I'm going to stand here and look at you and say, hey, wife, go get the phone. And then I might call 211, then 411, and say, hit that man down button you got there, bud. Now I'll stay back like you always want me to do every other time. I'll stay over here. Don't want to get close to you and help you out. Won't want to, do something to help you or do something to help myself. I'm just going to stand over here and watch. Hell, I might not even do that. And I'm sorry. You know why I feel the way I do about them bastards? Because of what they are, what they've done, who they are. And just because AR15.com has an opinion, now, my opinion, and it was just my opinion, that was all. I just said how it made me feel. I didn't tell anybody else how to make them feel. It would have been one thing if I was on there trying to create a violent atmosphere. It wasn't what I was doing at all. I just told people how I felt. But are they woke? I think they are. I think anybody that is still supporting the police forces with what people know today, you're absolutely crazy. You're insane. People, even when you tell people the redcoats were the British policing forces, they deny it. They say, no, they're not. It was the military. Yes, and in that time, the military was also the British policing forces. Who do you think put their boot down on the founders and made them pay taxes that they didn't want to pay? Or enforce the rule of the king? It was the British policing forces. And what's happened over time is they split those forces up. They split the responsibility of the military up into two standing armies. Now one, called the police force, that standing army, their job is to rule over the people through execution of policies made by those who believe they're in positions of power. And if you want to say, no, they're not a standing army, they're not an army, I'll give you just a little hint. Why do you think they call themselves officers? Tell me another profession where people are called officers based on their position, or just because of the position itself. There's not one. Unless, of course, you are in the military, which is a what today? It's a standing army. Why? Because it's not constitutional in the way that it's ran. Our military isn't by no means. We're supposed to have enough military. I don't know if on duty is the word, but to protect our magazines, our bases, buildings, and such. That's it. We're not supposed to be going over here in Afghanistan and invading Afghanistan to spread some democracy, which is evil anyway. And all this shit ties in together. All of it does. Damn, I keep tripping over the damn four-way. If you look at what has happened here, they've tied a little bit into one thing into the next. So they got you supporting the police forces and the military, calling these people heroes. They go invade a country because not even the right country either. I mean, there was 19 people on that thing that flew into that thing that wasn't from Afghanistan. It wasn't from Iraq. Yet we go invade Iraq and Afghanistan. Then we're so bold, we call them insurgents in their own country. Like I said, I'm not against the individual military soldier. I feel sorry for them. I really do. They don't know what they signed up for, but they don't know what they signed up for because they don't know what they took an oath to. The oath that they take is to the state. My cousin proved that the other day. He just got his new training, got to weed out the white supremacist. And during that training, I guess the person giving the training went off in the weeds. My cousin said, "Tell me what my job is," because whatever they just said made it unclear to him. And he's one of them people that'll stand up and say something. I believe he's a sergeant now. Yeah, I think he's a sergeant now. He was told his job is to protect the government at all costs. That's his job. That's what he took an oath to protect his government at all costs. Let that shit sink in. Now these bastard little wannabe thugs that run around here after they retire out of that, and that's what happens. A lot of times they take veterans and they stick them in the police forces. Why not? They've trained them. They've stuck them in Afghanistan and told them, hey, go kick in this door and raid these people's house, not with warrants, because they told them that the Constitution only matters here. We are the only people that have rights. We're the only people that restricted our government from allowing our rights or violating our rights themselves. That doesn't mean the people in Afghanistan don't have rights, though. They have the same rights we do. That's what they're called natural rights. Like I said, it's all tied together and convoluted and mixed up, and they have everybody's brains so screwed up that if you say you hate the police forces, or the police forces are the enemy, they think you're the enemy. Truth is, you're not. The truth is that they are the enemy because they support the very ones who oppress you. Somebody raise their hand and show me where Kamala Harris has been at your house, kicking in your door, raiding your house for weed in California when she was the AG there or whatever she was. I'll wait, because it didn't happen. But it did happen. She created some rules or helped create some rules or then prosecuted some rules where somebody said, hey, this is the new rule, and some thugs with badges on went and raided those homes. Every single last human rights violation committed by our government in the history of our government on this soil has been committed by somebody wearing a badge. Now, you can point at Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Mike Pence. I don't care who you point at. Paul Ryan, point at any of them. The truth is, the guy with the badge is the one who made the choice to follow the order. That's who makes that choice. They're the ones who execute the rule. Just like I've said this 100 times before, they could have sent one person to assassinate King George, but they didn't. Because they knew if they did, somebody would just move up in King George's place and things would just go on how they are. The enforcement is what has allowed tyrannical governments to take over the people since the beginning of mankind. The enforcement. And the only societies that have ever been free defeated that enforcement. In our case, the Redcoats. The founders defeated the Redcoats. Who was what? The British policing forces. And you can say they wasn't, as I said, you can say they were a military force, but at that time, King George still considered this land to be his. That's why he sent the Redcoats over here, put everybody in check. At the start of the Revolutionary War, before that, it was bullshit. Sending them tea they don't want, making them pay taxes on it, they kick the shit in the harbor. You guys know the story. They've changed the name, but they are the same. They've tricked you into believing that these people are heroes when they are in fact the enemy. I gave this example again. Take Dayton, Ohio. There was, I think, 26 people killed up here a few years ago, 29 people in Dayton. Now the rule says those people could not carry firearms into that bar where they were killed because they served alcohol there. So because of fear of getting caught, how many of those people didn't carry? Maybe none of them, maybe all of them. What if it would have been the first person that was shot? And what if that first person had some training and could have took out that shooter? The other 28 people wouldn't have died at least. But because they feared the police, they didn't carry. They were all killed. Then the police show up and do what they could have done themselves, and they are said to be heroes. Yet those same police would have arrested those same people for protecting themselves if they carried a firearm in that bar. So who's the hero and who's the villain? The villain's the police. The hero is you if you take a stand against them.